It's Monday. I nearly said it's Friday afternoon. I swear to goodness, all the days look and feel exactly the same as each other. Let me get those off. I think they get a bit glary from the big old light behind you. How are you? It's very good to see you again on Monday afternoon. It's 4:30. Yay! I don't know what that means to anybody anymore because we're all working from home, so what's the end of the workday? It's all just about the same. Although there's still a lot of people out there working, having to go to work. So hello to you, and if you're on the commute home or you're getting ready to go home or you are home, welcome home. We're going to continue our conversation that we started at lunchtime today, which is about, hello Bev, how are you going? Nice to see you. We're going to continue our conversation this afternoon about the easiest weight loss recipe you ever need to remember. Hello Kay, nice to see you again. Thanks for joining in. How's things with you? Earlier today we talked about what that is, and basically the first thing I talked about was, have you heard of how to boil a frog? Because the recipe for boiling a frog, not that we want to because we love our froggies, but the recipe for boiling a frog is you pop him into a bowl of cold water, and because he's cold-blooded, he will adjust his body temperature, his blood temperature, to match the water. So you incrementally turn the water up, and eventually the frog will adjust and adjust and adjust and adjust, and eventually he will reach boiling point because that's how it goes. But the reason I'm talking about boiling a frog is because that's how we become overweight, is because when we are, if you've been a yo-yo dieter, when you're on the lean side, and we always know, because to be a yo-yo dieter you go lean, not so lean, lean, not so lean. So when you're on the lean side, and then you look around one day and you go, holy crap, where did all the weight come from again? And it's such a surprise. And that's how it is. It's exactly the same as when you boil a frog, because it happens little bit by little bit by little bit. And the reason that it continues to happen little bit by little bit by little bit is because we adjust, like that little froggy, we adjust to how we're feeling. Like as we get big, as we start to expand, our body starts to expand, we go, oh, my pants are a bit tight, I'll just do them up on another hole today. And then that one day turns into the next day and the next day. And we feel our shirts getting tighter or our dresses getting tighter. So we start to not select those tight-fitting clothes. We start to select the other clothes from our wardrobe. And so incrementally we adjust ourselves, and that's how we end up being really overweight all of a sudden and going, what? Didn't know what happened. I don't understand. I didn't see that coming. It's because we adjusted and we adjusted. And the other thing that we do is when we start to expand again, hey Linda, how you going? When we start to expand again, what we do is we stop looking at the scale, because we go, those scales must be broken. And so we stop using the scale because it's not telling us the thing that we want. And we kind of go into this trance of sleep, and we basically bury our head in the sand, and we start to lie to ourselves. Not ourselves, but our brain starts to tell us furfies about what's happening. So we start to adjust our clothes. We start to wear looser fitting clothes. We start to wear the pants that are fitting us a bit, the more roomy pants. And then we start wearing the more roomy dress. And then we start wearing the more roomy clothes around the house. And we make these adjustments. We stop getting on the scales, and we're slowly going back into our unconscious habits of eating, not exercising, and not paying attention to what's happening. And the reason we do that, hello Maricris, nice to see you. And the reason that we do that is because something's happening externally for us. It's generally there's some stresses happening, something's going on, and we have returned to our old eating habits, patterns and behaviors, our learned behaviors for dealing with stress. It's what our body does. It's what it says, okay, things are going, I need your attention here and I'll take over here. And so what it does is it goes back to the eating habits that it knows. So you go on autopilot, and we've talked about autopilot. You go on to autopilot, and that's what happens. So the easiest recipe to remember, or the easiest weight loss recipe to remember, is the recipe for adjusting when you start to feel that you're going overweight. Instead of adjusting your clothes, become aware the moment you start adjusting your belt notches, or you're picking the looser fitting clothes, that's the time to adjust your awareness. What you want to do is to become really aware of what's happening. So I'm going to turn you around now so that you can read what's on the board and have it right way around, but I won't be able to see you anymore. So I'll just turn you around. Won't be a sec. Whoop. There we go. Okay. Hello. There we go. So we'll turn that around, and we're just going to quickly talk about, recap what we talked about this morning. I think that's right. I stand here. You should be able to see me. Hello. So what we talked about this morning is the minute that you, the very first sign that you catch yourself of wanting to wear something more comfortable. Oh, these pants are getting a bit tight. I want something more comfortable, and selecting something more comfortable. Remember the little froggy and go, oh, if I adjust, I'm going to adjust and I'm going to adjust, and eventually I'm going to find myself boiling, which means I'm going to have a big chunk of weight to deal with. So the first thing you need to do is not adjust your belt. Keep your clothes the same. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable in tight-fitting clothes while you adjust your awareness, because it's your awareness of what's happening that is going to pull you out. And if you're only just going to adjust, like if you've only not even gone up a belt hole, then your adjustment's going to be really easy and really quick, rather than having to adjust for 20 kilos or 30 kilos. So it's about adjusting your awareness and go, oh, okay, I'm a frog in a pot and I need to adjust what's happening. Adjust your awareness. Make a plan to get back on track, because clearly you've gone off track. Whatever your track was, you've gone off it, because if your body's increasing and expanding, something's gone awry. So the next step is make a plan. The next thing is to identify what is happening that's driving those old eating habits, patterns and behaviors, because you need to bring them into your plan and make the plan for addressing that, so that you can go back to what it was you were doing that fits with your healthy habits and lifestyle that is keeping you at the smaller belt hole. Does that make sense? So you want to adjust your awareness, become very, very, very aware of what's happening. Make a plan. If you've become aware and you've gone, oh, it's the extra wines I'm having every night, or it's I've gone back to eating having potato at night, I wasn't having potato, or bread, or whatever it is, where you can see, because you can see it, make a plan to change back, to flip back. Identify what's driving your stresses. Have you suddenly got extra stress at work? Have you suddenly got extra financial stress? Have you suddenly got relationship stress from someone in the family? Is somebody unwell? Have you just gone through, have you entered a grieving cycle? What's happening? And bring it into your plan so that you can deal with that, so you can get back on track. Identify the skills and knowledge gaps that you have, because whatever's happening here, you've got a skills and knowledge gap, because that's why you went to sleep. You haven't got the skills and knowledge that you need to deal with whatever's happening. Maybe you need a financial advisor. Maybe you need new employment. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need, there's whatever's happening, you're not able to deal with it because it's taking your attention away from your good health habits. So identify the skills and knowledge gap that you have and where you can go to find help to fill that. And then the next thing that you do is because you've got to now reduce your body weight down, you've got to get your body to shrink a little bit more back to whatever size it was. And so the first thing you do is stop doing whatever it is. So there's going to be things that you need to stop doing. If you're having extra wine, you're going to be wanting to stop having the extra wine. If you find you're emotionally eating, you're going to be wanting to stop that. If you're finding that you're just having going back to sugar and milk in your tea, if you've gone off of that, you want to stop that. And the way to stop some things you can just go, oh, bang, I'm doing that, I'm going to stop it. Or some things you go, oh, it's quite entrenched and I've got a real urge to go for that. And that sometimes happens. We have these really big urges that are kind of there, like especially nighttime eating, if we have patterns. So you can halve things. You can start to reduce them down again. You can also supplement them. I'm not a massive fan of supplementing, not for long term, but as a short term strategy to get you to the stopping point. It's very effective. So if, let's say, for example, you found yourself having that wine every night, and then you go, right, I'm going to stop that, and then you sit down and you go, I want it, I really want it, and you've got this urge to have it, go grab your wine glass, but just put plain soda water in it, or water, something like that, so that your brain still has the hang of the glass, right? The brain still has some association to that habit, but what you're actually consuming is something that's beneficial or neutral for you. So supplementation is okay in that regard, just until you can get back to the stopping part. And the other thing you want to do is start doing things. So I'm guessing that if your body is starting to expand on you again and you've become aware of it, you've probably stopped exercising. So you want to reboot the exercise and movement program. You might want to increase your relaxation, because if you're going back to an eating habit, you're probably getting very tense inside if there's stress happening around you. So you want to go back to increasing relaxation, making sure you're getting good sleep, making sure you're taking moments through the day to, let that tension out through the day. And what you start to do there is you start to increase, then you start to double, and then you start to triple, whatever. And one of the things you need to resume, and you could change start to resume, is your belief that you can deal with whatever is happening, and that your belief that you are able to turn the tables. The other advice I gave this morning was about if you have a selection of clothes in your wardrobe that go from, size 10 to size 16, 18, whatever, if you have a selection of sizes in your wardrobe, you need to pick the size that you are now and discard the rest. I'm sure that's not the first time you've heard it, but it makes very good sense, because when we keep all those clothes in the wardrobe, what we're lacking is a belief that we will stay at the smaller size, because why we're keeping them is just in case. So essentially what that's saying to your brain is, I'm planning to put on weight again. You have not got the belief that you will stay that size, so you've kept those things and your brain's gone, safety net, awesome, thank you, we're great. and then it's okay. And then when you feel that you are getting expanding and you feel that belt tightening, and you start to adjust like the little froggy does in the bowl of soup, to the temperature, to the size, what you end up doing is you start reaching unconsciously for those looser fitting clothes, and that's how you end up at this bigger size again. And you get that reality check where you catch a look of yourself in a photo. That was always what would happen to me. I'd get a photo. I didn't like having my photo taken, and there would be a photo at an event, and I'd just be shocked. I'd think, oh my God, I didn't look like that when I left the house. How on earth did I? And that would be the Kickstarter to get me going again. But by then, the gap between where I was and where I wanted to be was 20 kilos. And that's too big a gap to then go, oh my God, I have to start again. The thing we need to be conscious of is the awareness. That's the adjustment. When you go to let that belt buckle go one more hole, stop. Do it up tight. Stick with the thing. Be uncomfortable. Be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and go straight to your plan. What am I going to do? Because at that point you're not even probably a kilo bigger, and you can turn that around in a few days. Just be comfortable with being uncomfortable, and that will be the way to turn things around for yourself. What we tend to do is stop getting on the scales. So you need the scales. I'm not a fan of the scales. I didn't weigh myself for 8 years, I think, something like that. But what we get in our mind is kind of that body dysmorphia, where we don't think. Well, it's almost the opposite of an anorexic. Whereas somebody suffering from anorexia looks in the mirror and sees much larger than they actually are. I know for myself, I'd look in the mirror and, you stand in a way that makes you just look the best, and you suck it all in. And that's why photos are such an eye-opener for us, because it's been taken at a time where we were just really relaxed. So what we do is we get this body dysmorphia thing happening in our mind, and we stop getting on the scales because our brain says, don't worry about it, it's all right, baby. Don't get on the scales. And so we're not looking at the numbers. Numbers do not lie. The scale is not broken. So the scale is actually a good friend to help you keep an eye on where you're going up and down. I don't like the scales when you're wanting to lose weight, because it becomes the source of pleasure and pain, in the respect that you think about, I used to, and to be honest, it's the main reason people fall off a dieting wagon, is because they're doing all that effort getting on the scale, and the scale's not reflecting the effort and hard work they're putting into it. So that's when they go, what's the point? So from that point of view, I'm not a fan of the scales, but for keeping an accurate awareness of where you are, and to stop that ever expanding opportunity for your body, keep an eye on the numbers. The minute those numbers change, just be aware of what you're doing. Go back to your plan, identify where you've backsliding, which is, sliding back into old habits. Identify that and just quickly make an adjustment. And that way you will always be adjusting yourself for success rather than adjusting yourself for disappointment. Does that make sense? Because just like that little froggy, if you stay in the pot and you keep adjusting yourself to the hotter temperatures, eventually you go, holy crap, how did that happen? So it's not about being a supermodel, but it is about being happy. It's about being healthy. It's about having choices, freedom, and control over what you do. And you've got to catch it early, because we can expand rapidly once we have the backslide. It's like a slippery slope when we get on the backslide of old habits. They can just really start to tumble. You know, it goes from a few crumbs to an avalanche, and all that weight can come back. I know that's how it used to be for me. I could have, I could go from a size 10 to a size 14 to a size 16 in a very short time. Sometimes it took a couple of years, and that was sort of this happening, but not good enough. It was a backsliding, kind of scrambling to rescue myself, and I could, but if that problems, if they escalated really quickly on me, that's when I'd lose footing, and the boom, there we'd go. So that's how that would go for me. I would put on a bit of weight, put on a bit of weight, put on a bit of weight, and then all of a sudden it would just be like the avalanche. So just remember, adjustment comes with your awareness, not your clothes. Adjustment comes with your habits, not your clothes. Keep your clothes as they are. Discard your old larger size clothes from your wardrobe. Take away the safety net and increase your belief in yourself that you have the capabilities to stay on top of your habits, so that you can remain at your smaller size. So this COVID-19 times is the only food people are accessing readily is the Uber Eats takeaway stuff, all the wrong things. People are looking for things to resemble occasion and treats, and so it is just the Uber Eats. Where I live, the place is there's so many Uber Eats deliverers if I go outside, there's just people on bikes everywhere with food in their packs. So be aware of what you're consuming now and any time. That's the adjustment. The minute your belt gets tighter, adjust your awareness to come back into the now and pay attention to what you're doing. Now, if this has been helpful for you, can you please leave me a comment and say, thank you, Katie, that was good, or just yes, or something, some indication that this was helpful for you, so I know I'm on the right track. Second of all, would you please, if you know someone that will benefit from this, can you please share the video with your friends and on your timeline? That would be very helpful for them, and I'd be very grateful to get the word out more, because this is the stuff that causes us to sink into depressions and despair, is when we find ourselves back at that shit end of find we have another big chunk of weight to lose, and we shake our head and we get very depressed because we don't know how it happened. It happened just like the little frog. You make an adjustment, you make an adjustment, you make an adjustment, bang, you're boiling. So if you can share this with others, that would be great for them, to help them, to spread the word, because this is the information that's really not getting out there, and we go unconscious, and we need to remember that we have control over ourselves. So please leave me a comment if it's helpful. Please leave me a comment if you have something you would like me to talk about. I'm more than happy to talk about whatever it is that you need, as long as it's a topic I know about and relative to this. Please share the video with somebody else that you know it will be helpful for. And I will see you on Wednesday, live streaming Wednesdays. We're going to try 12 o'clock on Wednesday instead of 1, 12 and 4:30, and see if that's more beneficial to people. What else are we going to do? Oh, keep an eye out for the Dietless Living word of the day, just to remind you how fabulous you are, because you are. And just remember to bring your awareness in. It's always awareness. As soon as and your belt will be the one that's telling you it's time to be aware. So take care. I'll see you Wednesday at 12 Wednesday at 4:30, then again on Friday at 12 and 4:30. Take care. I might just turn you around and see who's on here to say hello to. Look at my view. It's such a nice colour in the afternoon. Hello. Hi Con. Hi Kate. How you going? Hello Les. Hi Jay. Nice to see you all on there. Hello Raj. Wonderful to see you all there. How you going? Let me know, please, if this was helpful for you, just so I know I'm on the right track with good information for you. Take care. I'm going to sign off now. It's time for me to go for my walk. Thanks for watching. Thanks, Linda. Thanks, Kay. Thanks, Bev. I will see you soon. Talk to you soon, Bev. Alrighty. Take care and bye for now.